Hello there YouTube, it's Miniforce Wellness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the first of this year's Korean toy reviews. Yes, we're now into the year of 2025 and it's a brand new series of Korean toy reviews that I'm going to do for you this year. So we're starting off with this character from the Miniforce series. So before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. Now I meant to mention this in other videos I've done this month, but if you look above me, I've done the changing of the guard. I've changed out the bots on top of my Detolfs and they're the first and worst bots from 2024. Previously it was the first and worst bots for 2023 that was on there. I've meant to mention this in some of my unboxing videos I've done previously, but I forgot to do it, so I'm doing it now. Yeah, so I've done the changing of the guard. I've swapped all the figures out. So it's the first bots on this side and the worst bots on that side. And the first side is pretty jam-packed with large figures, mainly because sort of Tidal Wave up here, Legacy Tidal Wave. He's taking up a lot of real estate up there, and so it was a bit of a challenge to stuff them all up there. But they're all up there, all my first and worst bots from last year. So let's get going on my reviews for this year. So, this figure I've got for you today is from the Miniforce series. Miniforce is a Korean show by Samji Entertainment. It's been going since I think about 2011, 2012, something like that. It's been going for over 10 years. And it's kind of a rip-off of Power Rangers or Super Sentai. You've got these little sort of cutesy sort of animals, which then turn into sort of human-sized ranger figures to battle a load of bad guys, and then they jump into these giant mechanical transforming beasts or vehicles that then merge together to form a combiner, to fight bigger and bigger threats from the bad guys or the aliens or monsters that they're attacking the city. Fairly straightforward. I've sort of bought figures ins and outs from the I've sort of cherry picked figures from the various toy lines they've done over the years, and this particular figure is no different to that. Now this figure is from last year's Super Cops series. They've now moved on to the what was it, Pixel Force or whatever it is. It's like they have a lot of digital pixels on them, and that seems to be the new thing that they're going with. I might be buying into that line, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But this figure. Now, the main reason I bought this particular character is because, in my opinion, he bears a somewhat striking resemblance to another Korean toy that I've bought and reviewed in the past. Namely this guy. So this is a Tobot V Captain Police, which I reviewed a number of years ago. And as you can see, he transforms into this rather large, sort of futuristic looking, police muscle car. And this is a really good figure. I really like him. He's awesome. And this figure that I've bought, in my opinion, bears quite a striking similarity with that figure. And of course, I am referring to Miniforce Super Cops Storm Chaser. So, here he is. So there's his alt mode, and as you can see, again, it's a very large, sort of futuristic looking police muscle car. And yeah, it's a pretty cool looking vehicle. Before we get into the review, let's have a quick look at the packaging. So here's the box. As you can see, it's a rather large box. It's quite thick. It's got the Miniforce logo on there. Got some large pictures on the back with some of the features that the figure has. More pictures on the side, and then there's all the interesting product information on the bottom. Also comes with a set of instructions, black and white, printed on some recycled paper. It shows you how to transform the figure from robot to alt mode, and then it shows you how to integrate the accessories that it comes with. So that's that. So there we have Storm Chaser in his alt mode, and again, really cool looking police car, futuristic looking, police cruiser or interceptor, like a muscle car type thing. It's got very sort of swoopy sort of styling lines. It's got a sort of an aggressive looking grille on the front with lights picked out in transparent plastic. It's got like the police badge on the front there. It's got this really large blinging sort of police crest or police badge on the hood or the bonnet of the car. It's got very large wheels, pinned wheels, so it rolls extremely well. They're picked out in this like this the silverish plastic. It's got moulded in mirrors. It's got the police lights on the top. It's got blacked out windows. It's got some very sort of large haunches in the back. Then you've got some lights in the back and an exhaust port. Now if you look here, you can see that's got like a red trim piece there, and if you look on the other side, that red trim piece is missing. That's a QC issue with my particular example of the figure. For some reason, that red trim piece is missing. I'm not too bothered about it. I can fix that. I could probably get some filler or something or some plastic card and just stick it in there and paint it up to look like it's supposed to. But the fact that it came out the box with a QC issue like that, it's like, yeah, that's not great. Also, I would like to say the plastic this thing's made out of, it's, as you can see, it's a very shiny plastic. It's very hard, and it doesn't have any sharp edges on it per se, but it does have a lot of edges, especially when you're transforming this thing. It tends to, it's a bit rough on your hands because it's got a lot of parts that plug together very firmly, and having to wrench them apart is it can be a bit jarring on the skin on your hands or the palms of your hands. So it can be a bit of a mare to transform this thing in that regard. It's got bits underneath. I mean, obviously you can see his head there, and you've got the chest detail, and then you've got the bits of the legs. So there we go. Now do a quick size comparison with this guy. And as you can see, I mean, if you look at them side by side, you can see that Captain Police is a little bit longer, and he's a little bit wider as well in alt mode. Also, aesthetically speaking, the styling on Captain Police's alt mode is a little bit more aggressive and outlandish, because he's got like he's got the big engine sticking out the hood. He's got these big sweeping lines down the side. He's got these massive exhaust pipes sticking out the side there. He's got two sets of flashing lights. There's some styling ridges there. It's got a big light bar at the back and more exhaust pipes. So it's got it must be a V10 engine. It's got like 10 exhaust pipes on it. Yeah, it's a very cool looking vehicle. By comparison, Storm Chaser's a little bit more restrained in the styling department, and it's got a lot more blue on show than Captain Police, which has got more of the white. But they do, I think they bear somewhat similarity in their alt mode. They do look kind of similar. They're a similar sort of thing. They're both a futuristic, sort of like police muscle car, and I kind of like that. And that made me want to get this guy to do a comparison with this guy, because I have seen people do reviews of this and they haven't done a comparison with this. I don't know whether I'm the first. I think some of the Korean reviewers have done it, but the English-speaking Korean toy reviewers seem to have neglected that fact. Anyway, there we go. So that's the alt mode. It's heavy. It rolls extremely well. It's got weapon storage. You see these grey bits here, there, the guns, they plug into the sides of the car. So it's got that. So it's okay so far. So now transformation. Transformation on this thing is a bit jarring on your hands, because he's got a lot of bits, hard plastic parts that plug together very firmly. You've got to force them apart, and it can be a bit rough on your fingers. Start off, you've got to remove the badge, put it down to one side. Then starting off the transformation, you've got this front. You've got the front wings and the windshield is all one piece that you've got to unplug and bring up. So you unplug it and then you bring it up like that, and this frees up the legs. So turn it round, take these pieces fold them down, then fold up the foot, bring down the shin piece, fold up the foot, then split the legs, turn it round. You've got these panels here, rotate them round on a ratchet 180 degrees, and then bring out the heel spur like so, and then that's the legs done. Now the backpack, there is a port in here, and then when you bring this up, there's a peg. I don't know if you can see it. There's a peg in here which needs to plug into there. So you've got to sort of bring it up and plug it in after you've done the arms, because you need to get the arms out and do the clearance. So with the arms, you grab the sides of the vehicle and then pull out like that. Then this piece just folds down the back. Then you can plug that piece in like so, and then just make sure the backpack's plugged in. Bring the shoulder pads up, and then to finish off, you get the police badge off the hood of the car, and you plug it onto his chest to give him his blinging chest piece. And there we go. There is Miniforce Super Cops Storm Chaser in his robot mode. Pretty good looking bot. Lots of colours going on. Lots of dark blue, lots of red, some hits of white. You've got the gold chrome there. You've got some other sort of gold accents on the legs, and on his head sculpt. He's got this gold star up here. So it's a pretty good looking bot in robot mode. But a few weeks ago, Mr. Bolt Matrix got hold of this thing and did a review on it, and he was less than complimentary on a few facets of this vehicle, or this robot, and one of which was the elephant in the room, the kibble. So you've got the front quarters and the windscreen of the car just hang out the back like a cape, and it does make him back heavy because you've got all this weight hanging off the back. And even though he does have some substantial heel spurs, he still likes to topple over backwards if you're not on something that isn't a completely hard and flat surface. It also, got clearance issues when you're moving the legs and arms as well. But anyway, there he is in his robot mode. So let's do a quick size comparison with this guy for starters. My usual size comparator bot, because he's a full-sized leader class bot. So Combiner Wars Megatron. There he is next to Combiner Wars Megatron, and as you can see, he's a full-sized leader class bot. Maybe a bit wider with these shoulder pads, but there we go. And yeah, he's a pretty big bot, very colourful, but like I said, because he's made out of this hard plastic, and even though he hasn't got any sharp edges on it, he does have a lot of edges which do jar your fingers when you transform in this thing. And that initial unhooking this part from the alt mode to start the transformation is a bit challenging, shall we say. Right, so articulation. He's reasonably articulated. So you've got the head is on a ball joint. And it will turn all the way round. It has a little bit of quizzical twist, a little bit forwards and backwards. So it's got a reasonable range of motion. The shoulders, they will go all the way round, though sometimes it does hit bits of the backpack. The arms go up to there. That does not really go up much further than that. It does have bicep swivels. Got an elbow that goes to probably just over 90 degrees. It's got nothing at the wrist. He does have a waist joint, though it does unplug the backpack in doing so. Then the hips. Now, he has got these little skirts at the front. Now, if you leave the skirts down, they do push under, and then it restricts the leg articulation. So you've got to make sure the skirts are pulled out in order to free up the legs. So that goes forwards. When it goes back, it hits the backpack. It goes out. Now he has got a lower leg rotation, but it's below the knee. So he hasn't got any thigh swivels as such. He's got a lower leg rotation, which isn't great. It does restrict the articulation on the legs a little bit, having that joint below the knee instead of above it. Has a 90-degree knee bend. It's got nothing at the feet. Well, you can give... No, you can't. No, there's no toe bend on it. So it has got that usual thing on a Korean toy where it's got the an angle cut on the bottom of the soles of the feet, so that you can give him a neutral A stance when standing, on a flat surface. So there we go. Now, obviously, weapons storage. Now, if you look on the inside of this thing, you can see there's a gun there and there's a gun there. So you just unplug them from inside. And the guns, inside his palm he has a peg. And the guns do have a port in their butt, so they just plug on to his hands quite firmly so he can wield his guns. Like so. Now, they do plug on there very firmly, and getting them off is a little bit challenging because they're quite deep pegs. And as I said, this thing has got very hard, shiny plastic, so these pegs are a breakage risk if you're not careful. You have to sort of wiggle them off gently before they'll come off. They don't come straight off. You could probably do with shaving the pegs down to make the fit a little less firm, but come on. I think, see, this one's been a mare. Oof. Yeah, so they are not fun to get off once they're on there. They don't want to come off very easily. Right, so let's do a quick size comparison with Captain Police in robot mode. Right, so Captain Police, and of course he comes with the toe key, which when you plug it into his chest, his head pops up. Right, so there's Captain Police, and here he is next to Storm Chaser. So, did a quick size comparison. Captain Police is slightly taller in robot mode, and when you look at him, even though Storm Chaser has got the wider shoulders, Captain Police is a lot chunkier in the shoulder area and in the legs than Storm Chaser. He's got a lot more meat on him. The plastic that this guy is made of is a little bit softer than the hard plastic this guy is made of. This guy is a lot easier on the hands to transform than this guy. This guy's got a fairly straightforward transformation. This guy's a little bit more involved. Also, this guy does have weapon storage. He's got a large shotgun that goes between his legs, and then he's got some pegs in his hands where his shotgun goes out. This just comes out ever so easy. Now this guy hasn't got quite the articulation that this guy has got. This guy hasn't got a waist rotation, for instance. At least I don't think he has. No, he hasn't. But he's got pretty much everything else. So this guy is a little bit more articulated than this guy. But if I had to, if somebody said to me I could only have one of these toys, it'd be this guy. It'd be, you know, Tobot v Captain Police. This guy is okay on the whole, but he does have a few issues that, you know, detract from his overall, my overall opinion of him. Most notably the kibble on the back, stability issues when standing up, jarring transformation, and the fact that he's got a slight QC issue with a missing, you know, detail piece around the back of his alt mode. But yeah, I wanted to buy this guy so I could do a comparison with this guy, because I do think they do bear some similarities. I mean, the aesthetic in the robot mode, obviously, apart from, you know, the proportions, obviously Captain Police again has got a lot more white going on than Storm Chaser, who's got more red in his robot mode. But on the whole, they're both pretty good figures, but I do prefer this guy. So there we go. There has been my first review for 2025. It is, you know, Miniforce, Super Cops, Storm Chaser. He's all right on the whole. Does have a few glaring issues that, you know, you've got to look around. But he is pretty big. Got a lot of. He's got a lot of ratchets going on, as per, you know, usual Korean figures. The plastic that this guy's made of is a little bit hard and shiny for my taste. It does make me wonder about, you know, longevity issues going forwards. But apart from that, he's all right, I suppose. I'm not massively impressed with him, but I decided to get him, and I've got him now. I've done a review on him. There we go. So that's been my first review of this year, the first review of January. I will be doing another review next week with a figure from the Metal Carbots S toy line that I've managed to get. So hopefully you'll look forward to that. I've been TFI Wilderness. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da!